Your whole name is?
Yes, my name is v.koenigsegg. I'm the founder and CEO of Koenigsegg Automotive AB in Sweden, and we build hypercars.
Which one was the car you loved most when you were younger than you are?
Yes, it was actually almost like a cartoon car from Norway. It was an animated puppet movie with a very special car with a 12-liter engine and rocket engines and things like that. It was very exciting. But then I loved all kind of sports cars, the Lotus, Ford GT, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Countach, all these classical icons.
I have to ask you this because everyone wonders. So, how old are you?
I am 40 years
40?
Yes, 40 years old. And I started Koenigsegg 18 years ago when I was 22.
How did that idea come to you?
Well, as I mentioned, I saw this Norwegian movie when I was about 5 years old, and about this guy who built a really interesting sports car. And I remember saying to myself that when I grow up, that's what I want to do as well. I want to build my own cars and sell them and so on. And that dream never left me. So when I was 19, I started my first company, which was a trading company, to make a little bit money, with the ambition to use that money to build my own cars. And when I was 22, I had made a little bit of money, and then I started the car company, and that was in 1994, which was 18 years ago.
I've heard from people working with you, from people from Michelin, from your wife, words like a dream, perfection. You leave the car. How would you define Koenigsegg?
Exactly. Well, I see the company as a part of my family, and I guess I see our cars like my children in one way. I have two sons, which I love very, very much, but also the cars are my babies somehow. I really care a lot about them, and it's like a part of myself somehow. I don't separate my own being from the company or the cars. We're really connected together, and it's my life. And I don't see my work as work. I don't see it as my hobby. It's just who I am and what I do. So, well, I remember when I started that, first of all, there were many examples of people starting car companies, extreme car companies, and not succeeding doing it for different reasons. And I remember saying to myself, I have to start when I'm young, because it's going to be very difficult, it's going to take very long time, but I'm determined to do it, even if it's almost impossible. And I expected I was coming from Sweden, only 22 years old. I expected everyone to say, maybe not crazy, but that it's impossible, he will never succeed, it's just a dream and so on. I expected that. So when I got that response from many people, it did not push me down, because I was ready for that response. But it kind of instead triggered me even more to say, yes, I understand that you think that, but I will show you that it is actually possible. And I get a lot of now feedback and from people around who see this, who are doing other things in other areas, not only cars, but they say, since you could do that, anything must be possible. So you made me believe in my dream, and now I've done this and succeeded, and kind of thank you, whatever. And that is so great, because it actually proves that even hypercars can be very beneficial to society, because it shows dreams are possible in one way. So yeah, it's just like that, I guess. And what you think is the difficult part is usually the easy part. And if you're open-minded and understand that it's going to be that complex, and you every day have a focus on handling all these aspects, then there's a possibility to make it work.
And what was the toughest part?
I get that question a lot, and I really don't know. It's like, I think it's everything together to make it just work as a whole is the biggest work, and probably the toughest, I guess. But every little detail of, if it's engineering or building an engine or electronic system or aerodynamics or safety systems or whatever, when you focus on that and you work on it, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of interesting work, but it's not what I would consider to be super difficult. You just need to understand what you're doing and analyze it and use logic, and then it's not what I would consider difficult. It's the total picture which is the complex.
Why did you choose Michelin?
Well, in the beginning we tried many different tires during the development phase, and some of them were good and some were less good and so on, and every time we felt really a good result with Michelin, and then we started to communicate with Michelin, and they offered support for development and so on, and now we even have specially developed tires for our car by Michelin, which is very nice. And I would say the quality level is always high and the performance is at a very high level, and the consistency of performance level is very even between each tire set. So it's a combination of good collaboration, but also the technical specification of the tires, the adaptability, and how they work on our car, basically.
Which one was the saddest day?
Good question. And I think I know what you are thinking. And it's when we had this factory fire in 2003, and in many ways it was a very, very sad day because it stopped us, it made things slow down and so on. But when I heard about the fire, I was driving there and the fire brigade said, "We cannot save the building, you need to come." I was like, oh, wow. I was thinking, what am I going to do on Monday? It was on a Saturday. So I thought maybe no one is really there or very few people, and how are we going to save this? But when I came there, I saw a lot of my employees were there. They were taking stuff out before the fire was too bad, and I was looking around and I could see, oh, we have cars here, we have tools, we have equipment, we have this, all of this is outside, and we did not lose so many important things in the factory that would stop us. So from that moment when I came there, it was a very positive day because I thought, wow, we can continue. But on the way, when I heard they could not save the building, it was extremely sad and extremely confusing, because at that time I had worked 9 years, day and night, and my information over the telephone was that we cannot save the building, and I interpreted that like we cannot save the factory. But when I came there, we had so many things saved. I said, oh, thank God. Now there is an opportunity to continue. And then suddenly it was an extremely positive feeling instead of a negative feeling. So I'm not sure if it's the saddest day, but it was very tough, of course. And I remember saying to myself that I'm happy that I'm used to fight to get where I need to go, because if I wasn't used to that, this probably would be much more difficult. It's like you train yourself to do almost impossible things. So to get into a new building and fix some things was suddenly not that difficult compared to other things.
And the happiest day?
Oh, so many happy days, of course. Well, my children, when I got married, and all of these things in the family. But if we talk about the company, I think one extreme fantastic day was when we did the top speed Guinness record and took the record from 7-8 years from the McLaren F1. And I think that's probably it was a very exciting time, and it was like bad weather and we only had a very little short time, and it was almost impossible with timing and everything, and we did it, and it was a fantastic day.